Even I can't believe this, but I accidentally beat up a priest. And I'll tell you how it happened right now. Now, with the cash, I was a little upset about that. That was like that was my little, nest egg. But she paid off the house, and then I don't know, a year later or whatever, but sometime she bought a Cadillac Eldorado. And I'm like, well, that's my car because you bought it, with my money. And she's like, no, it's my car, and you're not going near it because you'll get in an accident or you'll get in trouble with it or something, whatever. She didn't trust me. If you didn't notice, the Eldorado. That was a nice car, diamond white. I kept asking her, can I use it? Can I use it? Can I use it? No, you can't use it. No, you can't use it. No, you can't use it. Well, this one time, it was actually a friend of mine's wake. And I was going to wear a suit, and I said, look, this is a formal thing. I want to take the Cadillac. Let me use the car. Again, it's my car. I paid for it. You bought it with my money. Let me just use the car. All right, fine. She caved in. It's my 50th time or so asking her, if I could use the car. And so she's like, well, all right, fine. It's a special occasion. You can use it. Well, so, we went to the funeral and all that, and the wake or whatever. And afterwards, we're all going to go out for some drinks, right? Because that's what you do, when your buddy dies. And so I'm downtown, which was nowhere near where the wake was. I'm downtown, and I'm driving down the street now. I left the bar. We're done. I'm going home. Hey, it wasn't that late. It was like 2 o'clock or something, right? So it wasn't like it was a 5 o'clock night and I come stumbling and I'm drunk. I'm sober. I was being good. Most stories that turn out bad for me started out with I'm being good. I mean, that's just my luck. I don't get it, but I'm being good. I'm driving down the street. I got my car and my Cadillac Eldorado, my mom's car. I come to the stoplight. Now, I didn't jam on the brakes, right? I just came up normally. And all of a sudden, wham, somebody smacks into me. I'm like, oh, crap, I just got rear-ended. She told me something was going to happen. She knew it. The last thing, I wanted to prove her wrong, that I could be, responsible and everything would be good. And so now I got rear-ended. So I pull over. As soon as the light turned, we cross the street and I pull over. He pulls right by me, right past me. I'm like, what's going on here? He's not pulling over. He's going. So now I'm pissed, because he's hit and run. So I pull up behind him. I'm honking. I'm flashing. Pull over, pull over. He's not pulling over. So I'm like, I pull up next to him. I'm like, pull over. And he's just like this. He's just driving straight. He's not, he's not even looking. He won't even look over at me. So I get to a point where I can cut him up. I cut him off. Okay. And now this happened at Clark over by the, I don't know if you're familiar with Chicago. There's a rock and roll McDonald's, they call it. So there's a bar there, and it happened in front of the bar where I finally pulled him over. Now it happened a few blocks back over by closer to Division, which is a whole strip of bars that people go to hang out. So I get him pulled over and I'm blocking him in, like this. And so I get out of the car and I knock on his window and he's just looking straight. He won't even acknowledge that I'm there. So I'm knocking on the window. Finally, he looks over and he rolls down the window. And I bend over to talk to him and he punches me through the window. So I'm like, that's it. I'm pissed now because I'm already, my blood's boiling already. I got my adrenaline going. I had to chase this guy down 3 blocks. So finally I pull him over. It's in front of this bar. And I start, he punched me. So I'm like, okay, gloves are off. I'm punching him. So I'm punching him and I'm punching him through the window. And I realized I'm not hitting him hard enough trying to not hit my own fist on the door frame. So I opened the door and I start wailing on him, right? And now I grab the keys so he can't go. And there was a bunch of people around now because it was happening right in front of a bar. And so I'm like, hey, can you guys call the cops for me? And they're like, don't worry, we already did. We saw everything. I mean, saw everything. It happened like 3 blocks down the street. Well, they saw everything except what he did. All they saw was I pulled him over and started beating him up. They didn't even see him punch me first. Because here's what happens, guys, when you get into a fight out in public. Unless you're going back and forth and yelling and screaming and making a big fuss about things, people aren't watching. They don't see who threw the first punch. All they see is you reacting. So you get in trouble. So that's what happened. So the cops come. Now, here's the funny part. In between that, now he's sitting in his car. I sit in my car. We're waiting for the cops. In between, when the cops got there and from being called, he put on a white collar. Yeah, he was a priest. I just beat up a priest. So, I mean, the whole thing is not funny, but it was funny now, looking back at it. But anyway, look, guys, I wouldn't beat up a priest. I'm not like, that's like, I'm scared to do that. That's, I don't want to go to hell for that, but, look, this guy was out trolling for young guys at 2:00 in the morning. Drunk, by the way, I didn't mention, drunk off his ass, okay? The cop told him, okay, because we're still kind of blocking traffic, like, can you pull over? And he's trying to pull over. He almost hit the cop who's standing there just directing him to pull over. That's how drunk he was. But the cops didn't care. All they knew was he was a priest and I beat up a priest. They didn't want to hear my story about what happened, 3 blocks back and he rear-ended me and all that. They didn't care that he was drunk. Okay. And I'm like, look, I'm going to call the media and get him here. They're going to see this drunk priest out here trolling for young guys. And, and they're going to get the real story. They were trying to talk him into, pressing charges against me. So anyway, make a long story short, his insurance company, which is like Global something, the Catholic Church, all their priests, it's like self-insured. Well, I talked to the insurance, people, and I'm like, look, I'm going to call the Channel 2 News or something like that, and I'm going to tell them that your priest is out here, trolling for gay men at, half his age at, 2:00 in the morning. If you don't take care of this. And he rear-ended me, then he punched me, and then he ran away from the thing. And he was so drunk. So they're like, look, don't tell anybody. We'll take care of it. We'll fix the car. We're dropping all charges because the cops, talked him into pressing charges at the scene, even though he was so drunk he couldn't even walk. So they dropped all the charges, fixed up the car. Everything was fine. And, in the end, it turned out all right. But my mom was like, I told you so, this and that. Now you're, in trouble for that. Mom's always right. She was always right. I should have listened to her. So many times I should have listened to her. Well, guys, if you're still watching, you must have liked the video. And if you did, give it a like. Now, if you want to see more like this, subscribe and click the bell. If you got some extra time on your hands, why not watch another one? You can choose one from the Stories of My Life playlist, which will appear here after I disappear. Or you could watch the next one in the series, which will also appear here. See you in the next one.